Welcome back, beauties. My name is Angela Denise. If you are new here, I am a lover of makeup. You guys left over 100 comments on my Sephora haul video asking for swatches and demos of all of the products that I bought during the Sephora savings event. Well, today that is exactly what we're going to be doing. In fact, this is going to be part 1 of a 3-video series where I'm going to be going step by step, applying the products on my skin and giving tips for makeup over 40. Before we dive into the Dior foundation, I want to show you the skin prep that I'm going to be doing today that I feel it's going to really take this makeup look to the next level. I think a milky toner, essence, something of that nature is very important if you have mature skin. Doesn't matter what skin type, but a milky essence, a base like the Heyyy, the base face milk. This is a lightweight moisturizer, toner, skincare in one. So we're going to prep our skin with that. And I'm also going to apply a eye gel. This is the Belief the Aqua Bomb eye gel. I love this one because not only is it hydrating, but you also get that caffeine, which is going to give the eyes a nice little pep to them. You know, I'm 42 and I have about to be 2 toddlers. Anthony is about to be 1 and Christian is 3. So girl, eye cream is necessary. I'm also going to be prepping my lips with the Sephora Collection Lift and Firm Plumping Lip Serum that I picked up during the sale. Super important to everything that you do on your face, you need to do to your neck as well. A lot of us really neglect our neck until we start having more moderate signs of aging. And so let's just not do that. Honestly, a simple vitamin C serum and a lightweight moisturizer, if you start now with that, I think that'll carry you a long way. But if you want to go ahead and just really be on top of it, add a retinol. I have a fresh new bottle of one of my favorite weightless on the go foundation, the Dior Face and Body. And I got the shade 4.5W. I think this is a beautiful shade. Oh, I did my underpainting, so in my brows, did all of that off camera. I forgot to mention that I typically let my skin prep sit on the skin for about 10 minutes before I go in with makeup application. So yeah, I am just going to apply the foundation with my fingers. Then I'm going to blend it out with the BK Beauty 101 foundation brush. Now, you see how it's giving very real skin-like. You have a little bit of dew, but it's not like super dewy. It's a very beautiful, natural finish on this foundation. These Rhode blushes were creating so much buzz, I could not ignore this product. These are the Pocket Blush Rhode Pocket Blush. And these are like stick cream blushes. I picked up 2 shades. I picked up the color Toasted Teddy, which is the one I'm going to be applying today. And then I also picked up Date, something like that. And I literally cannot stop thinking about these. I'm so interested to know, is this going to look good over texture? So we're going to go ahead and put on my brightening concealer. This is the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer. This is the shade TG5. I don't know if they still sell this one though, because they just came out with a new concealer. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the brightening concealer because I like to let it sit down for a bit before going in and blending it out. That just enhances the coverage that you get with any concealer. So I want to apply the Rhode blushes with a stiff type of a brush. I have two here, both from Morphe. A cream and liquid blush brush, number M204. And then this one is a goat hair, A58. I got this one. I think you can get this one alone, but I did pick mine up in the brush set. But either way, you want to pick something that's kind of more compact, or you can use a beauty sponge. So I'm not applying this directly to my face, and I do not recommend that if you have textured skin that you do so either. So that's why it's important what brush you pick in this instance. It scares me at how dewy it looks. I'm going to see how it sets. So that's going to be like the final determining factor for me on whether or not I keep these or take them back. So it is pretty, very luminous. We'll see how she sets down with powder. I can't wait to try out the plum shade too. And I will say, I don't know how this is picking up on camera, but here in front of me, the Toasted Teddy isn't pulling very toasty on my skin. It's just kind of, I don't know. I have to see how it looks on camera. Off camera, I set my under eyes with my one size translucent powder, and then I set my entire face with my Sephora collection Blurred Loose powder in peach. Love both those powders. This one is something that I've tried this year, and when it was released this year, I can't get enough. It is absolutely stunning of a powder. The Toasted Teddy blush had no issue setting down. I was very concerned because it was more of a luminous finish type of a product. The translucent powder on top is it's fine, but as far as like the smoothness of it, I kind of feel like there's some patchiness going on here. I'll put a note up on the screen once I see how it looks, once I get it off my camera. So just wanted to point that out. So far, everything else is good. Let's go ahead and look at another blush that I literally could not wait to get my hands on during the Sephora savings event. The Cloud Paint Plush Blush. I picked them up in two colors, in a terracotta shade and a plum shade. And to go along with the Toasted Teddy, I'm going to go ahead and apply the Storm shade. Out of everything that I purchased, Storm and Plum, I was just so excited about these two the most because just the texture was just something incredible. And for the price point, I am just thrilled, to be honest. To apply the blush, I'm going to use a Morphe M204. I also want to just a sidebar about Morphe. I love Morphe brushes, and I always have since I was a freelance makeup artist. I love the affordability and accessibility of Morphe. You just cannot go wrong in taking advantage of some of the sales that are going to be happening for Black Friday at Ulta and probably on their website. So just take note of the Morphe brushes that I'm using, basically, is all I want to say. This one, the M204, I love it for those type of textured blushes that are like this, like the putty type of blushes, and a creamer liquid blush. Right along with the Morphe and Ariel collection, A58. let's wrap up the blush conversation. I'm honestly torn when it comes to the Rhode pocket blushes. If I'm being completely honest, I'm more leaning towards taking these back because I don't think that I like them on my skin. I don't think that it helps my skin. And at this age, everything that I use, I wanted to improve the look of my skin, which is one of the reasons why I am absolutely stoked about the Cloud Plush blushes from Glossier. I think these are going to be refillable because you can just pop this tray on out. There's like a little thingy here. You can just kind of pop it out. So you have the ability to potentially refill it. It does give you a really nice, pretty, soft blur to the skin. And I love how effortless they blend out. So these are definite winners. I'm very excited to have these in my collection. Next, we're going to take a look at the Dior Nude Matte Filter Powder. These were released in about 5 or 6 shades. One of them was a completely translucent shade. And I love the fact that there are about 3 shades for my skin tone and deeper. I picked up the shade 3.5. I want to say there's a shade 4 and a shade 5 after this. In classic Dior cushion packaging, which I absolutely love. And I've only swatched this powder. So let's go ahead and do that again. There it is. It almost kind of melts right into my skin. I've actually heard mixed things about this powder, but as I mentioned before, I like to try things out for myself because, different people have different experiences with products, techniques, all of these things, skin types, skin textures, can all be variables to how someone experiences their makeup. So I have just wiped her in a little puff, and I'm going to press that into the skin like so. If you have oily skin, pressing it in helps mattify the face more. If you have more normal to dry skin, then you would use a brush to kind of glide that product across the skin so that it won't agitate your skin, because sometimes people with dry skin tend to have more sensitive skin. So pressing her in. Okay. This is a very soft, very buttery type of a powder. Think the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush filter powder. It is that texture, but at the same time, it's very mattifying, kind of like a powder that will be very oil controlling, kind of like the Givenchy setting powder. It gives a nice, beautiful blur to the skin. I love that these are tinted powders. That really helps when it comes to like balancing out your foundation. Maybe if it was a warm foundation and it should have been a neutral and things like that. So far, I like the powder. I really like the powder. And I kind of had a feeling that I would. One of my subscribers made a comment saying that the powder was kind of chalky and cakey. It does depend on your skin type, I believe. In this particular scenario, I have combo skin, and I'm going to say I really like it. It's a pretty powder, and I would love to use this on the go. We have to talk about the Vanngo Soft Blurring Bronzer in Discipline. I want to say that there's one more shade deeper than this one that I have here now. I would be interested in checking out the shade before this just to kind of, size it up against some of my favorite bronzers, which I do have here in front of me. The Gucci Fenty Beauty Coco Naughty and the Airbrush Charlotte Tilbury bronzers in both shades 3 and 4 are pretty much amongst my favorite bronzers in my collection. So over here, You can hardly even see it. It kind of blends into my skin. That is the Fenty Beauty Coco Naughty. This is the Gucci bronzer in the deepest shade that they make it. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the shade number 4. Then the Airbrush Bronzer in the shade number 3. And then Hung Vanngo. And to be honest, the Hung Vanngo color, that auburn color, not only would that be a beautiful blusher for people with brown skin and deep skin, I love a good auburn bronzer. One of my favorite, I want to say this was the Becca Ipanema San. It gave that beautiful auburn sultriness, like you just been in the Caribbean on vacation bronze. This is what this give. But it's darker, it's richer, and the color, it's buildable. So when I tell you Hung did that, specifically with this shade, and I can't wait to check out the other shades. I have to, because I need to be able to recommend the best of the best for my viewers. Regardless, I'm just going to take a angle what is supposed to be blush brush from Morphe. They don't make this exact brush anymore, but they do make a angled blush brush that will work in the exact same way. I'm going to just pick up a little bit of this bronzer, knowing that it's a very powdery bronzer. It says that this is a velvety matte, but to me, it's giving a traditional matte, which is just fine. There's something a little bit creamy about it, just a little bit, but nowhere near as creamy as like the Charlotte Tilbury, for example. So I'm just going to apply that along the hairline, and you can see like instant sunburn. So if you are deeper than me, NC40, NW45, old Mac shades, this is a bronzer for you. Like, this is going to be very pretty on you. I just think I'm so excited for Hung Vanngo and to see what else in his collection is going to be unforgettable. Because thus far, of the things that I have tried out here, is just 10 out of 10 must-haves are most definitely those Glossier creamy, cushiony blushes and Hung Vanngo's bronzer. I don't even think that I've seen anyone talk about this one. I think my girl Zari did. I'll have to go back and watch and see what shade she picked, because this was so unexpected for me. I wasn't thinking that it was going to be given bronzer of the year. No, I didn't think he was going to do all of that. It's very pretty. Very, 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 very pretty. I cannot wait to check out other shades in this blush formula. There's a berry color, berry pink berry, that has my attention, right along with his eyeliners, his eye koals. I already have some of his lipsticks. I need to check out that eyeshadow formula. You guys comment down below and let me know if, I know he has a website. Do you think that he will put on a Black Friday deal? I just had to pace myself. Like, I had to kind of like dial it back, honey, because when I say I wanted it all, I wanted it all. Another one that I'm very excited about, I don't keep up with every little bitty thing with makeup releases and things like that, but now I have a little bit more time to dedicate to the channel, to where I can do more research and, different things like that. So I say all of that to say is, I don't know when the last time that Dior came out with a 005 Glow Face Palette. This is the one from years past. Is it? Nope. This is the new one. This is the one from years past. This is 005 Copper Gold, which is an absolute legend in my book. this is one of the prettiest. Let's go ahead and give her a swatch. I mean, why not? And this is the OG swatched. It's so pretty. Like, look at these colors. It's just so finely milled. Let's go ahead and take a look at the formulation of the new palette, because I've heard the girlies saying that it's not the same. And you know how these reformulations go. They're hardly ever the same, but there are opportunities for improvement. I do think that sometimes people overact when things are changed. People be going crazy. So, new, old. It's hard for me to tell looking in the viewfinder. So what I would say is the old formula was a little bit more like smoother, and the size of the reflex within the formula were a little bit smaller. So the texture is kind of a downgrade on this one. Are the colors still beautiful? They absolutely are still beautiful. And I think I want to try this one on. I don't like this. Like, that's actually a downgrade in packaging. I'll show you guys why. So in the previous generations, they would have the shade name swatched on the back, whereas now they're not like that. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Yeah. So I don't know what color I'm gonna use, and nor is it on the back of the packaging. I don't understand why they did that. Like, I need to know what colors I'm applying so that I can say it and remember. I am just going to pick up a little bit of this color using a Morphe A14. Let me blot some of that off because I did kind of load that brush up. And I don't want like a super extreme highlight. I hardly wear highlight these days. But I can see a soft amount of reflect, illumination to the high points of my cheek. Now I'm just going to try to, build it up. Just to test the buildability. And you definitely can build. I think it's pretty. It's not a necessity. It did add some emphasis to my texture, which is, I don't like that. So I do think that it's a very beautiful palette. I wanted to get it because they do not release 005 very often. Therefore, I am going to keep it for that reason. But if you have not purchased it yet, is it something that you absolutely have to have? I don't think you do, especially if you have texture. I did not get a chance to share the other things that I picked up from the Sephora sale on my second haul. We'll talk about that more on another day. But one thing that I picked up that I wanted to share with you all, I picked up some more of the Kulfi pot eyeshadows. I picked it up in bronze brocade and Sona. I think that's how you say it. And these are stunning. So we're going to put this on. And you guys, just let me swatch them for you. These are so silky smooth. I have lines on my eye, and I've had them for a long time. But the reflect in this is so fine. It just glides right over those lines. So if you have fine lines, but you still want to sparkle, which I highly recommend you doing so, this is a product that you're going to want to check out. These are absolutely stunning. This is Sona. No, this is Sona, and this is Bronze Brocade. I now have this in 4 or 5 different shades, and I still have one more coming in the mail. I can't rave enough the level of reflect that you get in the formula. I love this because you can just throw on your bronzer in your crease and then just take something sparkly, whether it be your highlighter, a product like this, or even a Danessa Myricks Color Fix Stick, and just wash it over the center. I'm putting this on like this today because I knew my lashes were going to be big and I didn't know how far I needed to take the product up on my lid. So I'm applying it after my lashes so I can just kind of see that with ease. So I'm just brushing it on. If you use your finger, you'll get more opacity like I did on the back of my hand. Look at Sona. Oh, I hope I'm saying it correctly, but this is pretty. I had one of these on in my last video, in my Sephora savings event haul video. It was a Satara Sparkles. It's kind of like a mauve color, I think. Yeah. But it was so pretty. And it just glides right on. The reflect, I mean, the particles are very tiny. You see that? It's understated. I feel like this level of sparkle, depending on what kind of job you have, could be workplace appropriate. Like I would just dot it right across the top of the lid instead of like going more so in the corner if you were going to do like a work, take it to work. But if you, this is just an idea I just had. If you went to work with the look that I had without the sparkle, just the matte, and then like if you're going to go to happy hour, go to dinner, you could have this in your purse and just kind of like pop it on as your fun, to kind of spice up the look. And I have sparkle everywhere. um Okay, so just a real quick recap, even though I've been kind of updating you guys as we move through the products. Starting with my skin prep products that I replenish with the sale. These are absolute must-haves. This is an instant classic for me for the simple fact that I could still feel like the little tingle that you get from the plumping and moisturization up under my mattifying lipstick. And this is just something that I just do not want to do full glam without. And just because I have it out here in front of me, you guys see me apply it at the beginning of this video, but this is my Valentino Born in Roma. I have already put a dent in it, and I've only had the perfume for about 5 or 6 days now, but it just smells so good to me. I did get a chance to get the extra dose, but I only got it in a travel size. But yeah, I am so glad that I went back in and replenished my Dior Face and Body foundation in the shade 4.5. I absolutely love this foundation. I think it wears well over texture, and it will even wear well over fine lines and wrinkles. This is a classic foundation that still does its job, and I really love it during summertime as well because it's a water-resistant formulation. The Dior face palette. Again, I like it. I wanted to have it in my collection because they don't always release a 005. Neither do they hardly release ones that I feel like are different enough for me to pick up. So that's why I picked this one up. Is the formula different from the old formula? Yes, the old formula was a little bit more refined and smoothing on the skin. So this did emphasize texture just a little bit. So if you're not like a collector or a content creator, this is something that I feel like you can skip out on. And when it comes to the Dior Forever Nude Matte Filter Powder, I do think that this is one that may look a little cakey or not look as very pretty on super dry skin types, but on normal, oily, and combo skin, I think this is a good powder. I'm personally going to use it as a powder on the go. Do I think this powder is like stellar, 10 out of 10? You got to have it, you know, I'm going to think about this tonight. No, it's good, but it's not great. The next three products are absolutely good, 10 out of 10. You must have them in your collection. They are absolutely stunning products. First being the Vanngo Soft Blurring Bronzer. This one is in the shade Discipline. It is absolutely stunning. I absolutely love it. The color is a beautiful, rich auburn color, which shows up very beautiful on my skin. It is a very pigmented product. The price point is nice. I love what I'm getting from Vanngo so far. The Glossier Cloud Paint Blush. Absolutely love the formulation on these. The packaging isn't anything to write home about. However, the formula is. And the colors. They are very opaque, very creamy, very blurring on the skin. Everything that the girls are saying that they are, they are. Absolutely love these, and I will be looking for an opportunity to pick up any other shades that I feel would look good on brown skin in the future. I lied. This product isn't a 10 out of 10 for me. I like this product for someone who has dry skin to normal skin and that does not have a lot of texture on their skin. This is a good product, but it's not something that I feel like I have to have, and I'm probably going to take them back. But and as far as am I going to take back the Dior powder, I won't take it back. I'll use it for on the go. But the Rhode blushes are definitely going back. So yes, girl. I hope that you enjoyed this video. This is going to be one of my 3-part series of my Sephora savings event try on, because I picked up so many different products. I want to come back and do step by step, walking through how I would use the products, especially if you have mature skin and it's winter time, the seasons are changing, skin is changing. This is how I would apply these products. So if you are excited and you're not subscribed to the channel, right now is a great time to do so. I would love for you to join the fam, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.